This pain is ours.
Hi there gamers, welcome to Respawn Rants on the MGL Mix video this Monday the 21st of September 2015, and it's a little bit of a sad one to be honest with you guys, and I'm not going to dwell on things too long, but I am quite saddened by the subject of this Respawn Rants, which is Konami, a wonderful games developer that were never afraid to do things a little bit differently, and have released some of the most magnificent games out on the market, notably the Metal Gear Solid series and obviously Pro Evolution Soccer, both of which have launched in the past month, as well as classics like Silent Hill. I'm not one for scary games, I'm really not, but I loved playing Silent Hill back on my PlayStation, and they made probably a few too many sequels. I think Silent Hill 2 and the original were the kind of pinnacles really. After that they kept going and they made some good ones. Silent Hill 3 was decent, and The Room had its moments. You know, I don't want to completely go over every single Konami game and what it's meant to me. I'm sure there's going to be an internet full of, you know, top 10 Konami games, worst 10 Konami games. But what I will say is there are games that kind of define what you enjoy as you're a gamer, as you're growing, and putting Metal Gear Solid in my PlayStation was one of the most amazing moments of my kind of gaming. And back in the 90s, everyone was talking about that game. Everyone was talking about the fight with Psycho Mantis and the fact that you had to change the control pads over, and it was one of the most, you know, cleverest things they'd done in gaming. The fact that you couldn't get a copy, and copies of games were all the rage back then. Obviously everyone had a chipped PlayStation. I was one of the few that didn't actually. I just carried on with things. I didn't play too much, so I didn't feel the need for it. But you couldn't actually do it unless you had the CD case, because the code to find Merrill on the radio was on the back of the CD case. Metal Gear, you know, it was wonderful, and it was very clever. And when I see these reports coming out, it's not confirmed yet, I will say that. I'm recording this on Sunday the 20th, and these are all things that are kind of coming out via the media, but it seems inevitable. And I think the signs were there when Silent Hills, now Sony were invested in Silent Hills. PT came out as a blooming freaky, scary demo, and was played massively by everyone. Everyone loved it. Norman Reedus of The Walking Dead, he was kind of cast. They were working on things. Kojima was, you know, seriously involved in it all. Everything looked like, whoa, this is going to be the Silent Hill game of next generation. And then suddenly it just kind of stopped, and everyone seemed to be too okay about it. There wasn't anyone really kicking off, other than the fans. Obviously fans were just like, oh my god, how can you stop this game, it's amazing. So it was a bit strange really. I'll cover that in a minute, but yeah, once that kind of happened, it was a shame really, and you could see the end was coming. They've kind of tried to keep things under wraps, haven't they, whilst Metal Gear was building up, and obviously Pro Evolution Soccer 2016 was coming out, and the positive thing out of that is Pro Evo is going to stay with us, guys. That team looks like it's going to be allowed to continue, which is great. I mean, when you consider how good Pro Evolution Soccer is this year, that's a wonderful thing. And a lot of people were worried that, you know, they were going to just let FIFA run away with it, and they're lazy enough on the development side of it at times without, you know, with some decent competition. So you can only imagine what it might get like if there was no competition. But let's just think about this now. Let's think about this logically. Things have been kind of held in this kind of state of limbo with the Konami situation as it was. When it's all confirmed and when it's all done, we could actually be in a very positive situation quite soon after. It's sad. It is sad, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of history there. But projects like Silent Hills, like I said, there wasn't too much about it, and there was a lot of investment from Sony in it. They made it one of their features way back at last year's E3, and I'm wondering if certain projects that can't continue in the current state of things may well be allowed to be picked up again in the wake of this. If Konami are taken out of action, if you like, by whatever decision that they've come to make, if they're going into the mobile development market, great. Maybe some of these things that they own, the Silent Hills and those kind of things, you know, the Metal Gear franchises that they could bring back, perhaps these might then become part of something else. We know that Kojima is not going to just vanish. He's a magician. He has just made one of the best games of this year, possibly one of the best games we've ever seen in the style of Metal Gear Solid 5. So maybe this is a positive thing for us gamers. Maybe the Konami decision will force this kind of sale, if you like, or trade-off with these brands, and people, you know, that want to pick them up, people like Kojima, who will probably start his own independent games company and look for funding through maybe us gamers, like the success we've had with Shenmue 3, or maybe Sony. I mean, from the original Metal Gear days on the PlayStation, he's very, very friendly with Sony. You'd have thought if they were invested in Silent Hills, they'd just throw money at him. They'd just say, there you go, Kojima, there's big pile of Sony money, not Sony money, sorry, PlayStation money. There isn't much Sony money to go around, but there's plenty of PlayStation money to go around. So yeah, just help yourself, Kojima. Get yourself a nice big pay packet. Go out there, get readers back in, and let's make this game. Let's do it. I can see that being the positive out of this. Now, I don't know, that's speculation, but the chances are, if they're not doing anything with the games anymore, they may as well sign some deals over, take some royalties for it all, and just let people like Sony, maybe Square Enix, and other companies pick up those brands and allow the gamers to experience them, maybe with a different take on them, who knows. Speaking of the brands that they own, let's just think about the way they're actually going out. If you're going to go out on top, guys. That's all I've got to say. And Konami have just released Metal Gear Solid 5. Now I've popped a bit of a very belated review in progress thing out today on mygameslounge.com, and the review's going out quite quickly afterwards, to be honest, because I wanted to release that for a long time, and for various reasons I've not managed to be able to do it. But just look at what that game is as a send-off from Konami. It's pure class. It's absolutely amazing. I've not played an introduction to a game that's kind of held me like that for a very, very long time. I think the last game that really just grabbed me at its introduction was The Last of Us. Maybe Skyrim as well. Skyrim had a very good introduction for that kind of, an RPG. But no, that was really good, because it wasn't, learn how to shoot someone in the head from great distance with a sniper rifle. It was can you just try and drag yourself, from your bed to save your life, away from these people that are trying to kill you. I also like the supernatural side to it was really well done with the young, what seems like Psycho Mantis with the fire demon, as well as the overall darkness that Metal Gear's got. I think it's a lot darker, this Metal Gear, and that's a very, very good thing. There's always that kind of element of cheese to it, but the guards and everything in Metal Gear Solid 5, it's kind of like they want to kill you. I don't feel like they're just like, things with exclamation marks and cones. I feel like they're quite threatening, and I feel like they're after me, and if they get me, they're very, very happy to kill me. So, yes, very, very impressive. Probably going to be game of the year. I'm not going to ruin our review, but there's very little bad stuff to say about it, to be honest. And then Pro Evolution Soccer 2016. Now, I know Pro Evolution Soccer is staying with us, but can we just say that this is one outstanding football game? I've enjoyed both sides. I've enjoyed FIFA since 2010 when they started to turn it around, and up to they had a good 3 years at it, and then they they lost it a little bit around the next gen launch, didn't properly adapt for the new generation, and it's taken them a couple of instances to get it back. Whereas Pro Evolution Soccer just had that kind of almost, where do we go with this attitude for a few years. The peak of it was obviously Pro Evolution Soccer 5 and 6. I think 5 was personally my favourite. I think 6 was a very, very good one as well. I think those were the two that really everyone remembers, and I think that's been, around a lot of the internet over the past few weeks. Everyone talking about the likeness to those games. So this one, what for me is just utterly brilliant, is the Master League. I have been hammering Master League like it was back 4 or 5 years ago. I used to love going through the Master League, and it just got to the point where it was the same thing time after time. This time it's excellent. They've done a really good job on it. It's got a feel of, it's Ultimate, so it's a watered down version, but it's got that kind of football manager type feel to it with the layout. I really like it. I really like making my own team in edit mode, and some of the other modes in there as well. The Become a Legend. It's okay. I do quite, personally speaking, it's not the mode I would choose to play. But of the two versions on the one on FIFA, I prefer the Pro Evo version. I can't remember what the FIFA version is called, but I used to like it where I could be a player manager in FIFA, and just use my player and be a manager at the same time. They kind of stripped that off, so maybe I don't like it because of that. But no, I definitely like Pro Evolution Soccer's Become a Legend mode, and I do really just love this new game. So if you haven't checked it out yet, please check out the game. We've got some details on mygameslounge.com. I have been hammering it since mid last week, so the review is certainly not far off, and I am very, very impressed with it. It's got just that right balance between passing, speed, attack. It's wonderful to play. It's great even to play with the idiots that you can get in the Master League. They're not bad. There's one called Escutino who just keeps scoring lots of goals for me. He's good. Don't sell him. He's good. Just to summarise, it is sad. It is sad news about Konami. They've got a lot of history in the gaming industry, and I wish whatever they decide to do, I wish that company all the best. And I'm sure most gamers out there do too. But we could get some positives out of this, guys. Do really, really think that some of these things that are kind of just put on hold, some of these franchises that Konami have got, may well see some light now. At least it looks like a decision is coming closer. So let's see what official from Konami comes out. Let's let the dust settle. Let's see what happens with Kojima. Kojima will be going somewhere. Someone will pick him up, or he will just run his own company, and people will just throw money at him and say, yes, please make us another 10 out of 10 amazing game that everyone in the world just loves. So it's not the end. We'll always get Pro Evolution Soccer every year. That's a good thing. So we won't not see Konami appear on our TV screens again connected to a game. And let's just see where they go from here. But well done, Konami. You've made some fantastic games over the years. And all the best for the future. And all the best for us gamers out there who are just looking forward to seeing what you do next and what the people connected with you do next as well. I've been Respawn Roscoe. Thank you for joining us today. There's lots of content on My Games Lounge. As ever on a Monday, we've got In the News, looking at all the things that have been going on over the past week, all the big news from Persona, from the Tokyo Game Show, and The Last of Us 2 slip up. Whoops. That's all in there. And we've got This Week in Gaming, where we look at all the stuff that's coming up in the week, the things that are releasing. Our trip to EGX, which is going to be exciting, going to Birmingham to enjoy that. And also, we've got the indie update, which has also got the full video in it as well. So you can just watch, if you watch the indie update version, which is good, you can get to see all about the cool indie games coming up. And you just keep watching. You've got the full length video there, and you can just kind of dip in and out of it as you want to. Thanks for joining me, Respawn Roscoe, on this a little bit of a sad one, but hopefully the positives come out. I will see you on mygameslounge.com. And if you're heading to EGX, come and say hello. We'll be wearing My Games Lounge stuff. You'll spot us there.